Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Renita Wulandari. I'm from TBI 6B. Here I would like to make a review video of translation material. The first material is definition of translation. According to Peter Newmark, translation is rendering the meaning of a text into another language in the way that the author intended the text. It means turning a text into another language while keeping its original meaning and style intact. So, we can conclude that translation is the process of converting a text from one language to another language while maintaining its original meaning. And the second material is translation process. Peter Newmark outlines the translation process as follows. The first is comprehension. The translator truly understands the original text, including its meaning, nuances, and cultural context. The second is analysis. It means that breaking down the text to identify its structure, styles, and linguistic features, including idioms, metaphors, and other figurative language. Next is transfer. It means that rendering the meaning of the original text into the target language while preserving its essence. This involves selecting appropriate words, phrases, and expressions that convey the same message. Next is reconstruction. It means that recreating the text in the target language to ensure it reads naturally and fluently while maintaining the tone and style of the original. Next is revision. It means reviewing and refining the translated text to ensure accuracy, clarity, and coherence. Okay, next material is language functions, text categories, and text types. Peter Newmark's categorization of language functions, text categories, and text types helps translators to understand different aspects of text they work with. First is language functions. Language function. This refers to the purpose of intention behind the use of language in a text. Examples: the language function include informative, expressive, persuasive, and vocative. Next is text categories. Text categories are broader classification of text based on their communicative purpose. Next is text types. Text types are specific genres or forms that text can take within each text. For example, within the descriptive text category, text types could include scientific descriptions, travelogues, or character portraits. Okay. Next material is the unit of translation. Peter Newmark defines the unit of translation as the smallest meaningful segment of the source text that can be translated into the target language while preserving its intended meaning and coherence. This could range from individual words or phrases to complete sentences, depending on the factors such as language structure, context, and communicative purpose. Okay, the next material is translation method. Peter Newmark outlined the translation methods, which include: the first is semantic translation. It focuses on translating the meaning of the source text into target language without necessarily preserving the form of style of the original. The second is communicative translation. It aims to convey the communicative function and effect of the source text in the target language, considering the context and audience. Next is literal translation. Translate the source text word for word, adhering closely to the original language structure and wording. Next is adaptive translation. Adapts the source text to the target language and culture, making change as needed to ensure clarity and relevance for the target audience. Okay, next is free translation. It provides a looser interpretation of source text, allowing for more creativity and flexibility in expressions. Next is idiomatic translation. Translates idiomatic expression and cultural references in a way that is natural and understandable in the target language. Next material is translation technique. First is amplification, adding more details to make things clearer. The second is borrowing, taking words directly from one language and using them in another without changing them. Next is calque. It means that translating words or phrases word for word, even if they sound strange in the new language. Okay, next is compensation. It means that fixing problems in one part of the text by making change in another part. Okay, next is description. It means that giving lots of details to explain things well. Next, discursive creation, making new text based on the original meaning. Next is established. It means established equivalent. It means using well-known translation for certain words or phrases. Next is generalization. It means that making things less specific to explain them better. Next is linguistic amplification. It means adding language details to make the meaning clearer. Next is linguistic compression. It means making the language simpler to understand. Next is literal translation. It means that translating word for word without worrying about special meanings. Okay, next is modulation. Changing how things they are said to keep the same meaning. Okay, next is particularization. It means that making things more specific. Next is reduction, making things shorter. Next is substitution. It means that replacing words with similar ones. Next is transposition, changing how words are ordered. Okay, the last is variation. It means that changing things slightly to fit better. Okay, I think that's all the material of translation. 7 materials, start from definition of translation to until translation method. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.